Let's move on to Devin Booker exiting the game after injuring his left ankle in the first quarter of the Suns game against the Jazz. Again, poor Suns. Our Jordan Schultz reporting Booker will be shut down for the final 3 games of the season. If you twist your ankle and there's only 3 games left, I don't know if that's really shutting someone down as much as like, okay, he's out 3 games.
That looked like a grade 2.
I do, though, want to go back in time, right? This was last April, so this is about a year ago. Booker said, I'm done with not making the playoffs. I'm serious. This is probably the last year I'm ever not making the playoffs. I'm watching these games right now with teams trying to clinch and the playoff atmosphere of those games, and those are the games I want to be in. Which, again, we applaud his attitude, right?
Yeah.
And they're certainly not in the they're not in the playoffs with anything except to do with him. He's done his part. But, Tracy, the Suns, again, are approaching another offseason.
Well, first they have
what do they do to make that come true for him maybe next time?
Well, they have to identify a GM, number one.
Right.
They have to acquire a GM. And then I'm sure that GM is going to want to put his stamp on as far as the head coaching position, right? So GM probably evaluate how this coach coached this team this year. They didn't do a great job because I think they have talent. They should be better than what their record showed. And then bring his guy in to get the best out of these guys. Because you have a guy in Devin Booker. I mean, the man is going to be a perennial all-star in this league. Then you have DeAndre Ayton, a young talent, and Josh Jackson. I mean, you have a young core group that you could build with. You have a 14% chance to get the #1 pick in this year's draft. And see if you can land some free agents this year.
Yeah, I really liked what the Suns did last offseason. I liked the Ayton pick. I liked the trade for Mikal Bridges. He's been a good player. He hasn't been as good as Doncic, but he's been a good player.
No, Ariza.
Oh, Ariza. I thought Ariza would help them. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs, but I thought they would maybe be 10th, which would be a good step forward for them. I thought the Kings would be dead last. The Kings, meanwhile, the Kings took the step this year that I thought the Suns would take.
Right.
And that's what's so disappointing is that this is now Devin Booker's 4th season, and they just are not any closer. They're not making any progress. That's, if you don't make the playoffs, it's okay. But if you say you have progress, they lost this year, and they end up giving Ariza away. Although it was a good trade because Oubre, I think, has been good for them.
He's been really good. Yeah.
And I think they should.
They just need to start moving forward.
But Trace, do you think you mentioned the coaching? You might recommend a coaching change. How many coaches can these young players go through? And how much is it sort of to the point where you're like, it's damaging for them to have another person come in and tell them a whole nother new set of things that they have to learn compared to, we might not have exactly the right guy and we need to change that. Like, how do you weigh that?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a little frustrating for those players to, keep, it's like an offense, a quarterback being, given an offensive coordinator each and every year, trying to find out what works best for him, and he has to adjust to all these systems. Same with these young guys. I mean, they got to adapt to the coaching styles of all these guys coming in. So you got to find the right coach to come in and coach these dudes.
Man.
They draft the top 5 every year.
Every year. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's not good.